Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another lecture prediction. This time we have Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia up against former President Donald Trump. So again, Joe Manchin, I think he's probably more likely to run as an independent candidate than in the Democratic primary, but I think he had a way better chance in a Democratic primary than as an independent. I don't think he would win any states as an independent. So I think he's just better off running the primary against Biden. So again, we're just going to do this scenario because it's always certainly possible that Manchin decides to run against Biden in a primary because he sees that as a much better chance at winning and he would have much better odds at getting the presidency by that method. So let's get right into this video. So I do think Joe Manchin would make a lot of states more competitive than usual. I might even downgrade Kansas and Montana to likely Republican states, honestly, because I do think he would get them to be more competitive than they were last time around. South Carolina may be keeping as safe red because, again, I don't think Joe Manchin would do as well with black voters. I think there'll be a bit of drop off in turnout among them, especially. So, again, he may do better with more center right or centrist voters than Biden would, but he would lose a lot of the core base from the Democratic Party. But in Nebraska's first district, he would definitely bring it down to a likely margin. Nebraska's second, I think he could win it by a safe margin. We're going to put it as likely for now. In Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia, he would win over these traditionally Democratic states. Again, he would widen the base here, win more independents in each of them, so offsetting any losses he has among the more left-wing Democrats. Even in the state of Alaska, I'm going to put this as lean Republican. I really think Manchin could get the state a lot more competitive than usual. I think he would have pretty good rural appeal in a state like Alaska, win over a lot more moderates, even center-right voters his way. I could see that occurring, but not enough to flip the state. State of Maine, a very rural state, I think you would actually perform quite decently, even winning in Maine second, because again, Jared Golden, he's a moderate Democrat similar to Joe Manchin. Moderate Democrats can win in Maine second if they're centrist enough. So I definitely see Manchin winning this district against Trump. In Iowa and Ohio, I have these as lean red states. He can offset the Republican trends here by a bit just by being a lot more of a centrist voter or a centrist candidate. He would win over those centrist voters, and independents do a lot better in the rural areas than most Democrats. Not enough flip them, though. The Republican trends here are too hard to override. Even the weakest Republican candidates would still be able to win over Ohio and Iowa. But again, Manchin would make these states a lot more competitive than they were last time. In the state of Minnesota, I have this state as likely blue. I think he'll keep most of the base together, but again, he'll lose a bit of voters in the urban areas here. So he would do better in the suburbs, do better in the rural areas of Minnesota, but get a little bit lower urban turnout just due to more left-wing voters not being as enthusiastic to vote for Joe Manchin. In the state of New Hampshire, I also see this as a likely blue state. Let's see here. Next couple states. Florida, it could get an unlikely or no lean red with Manchin as the top of the ticket. I just kind of doubt it. Again, he would do worse with minority voters. I don't think he would energize them as much, especially black voters, which is a very important group in this election, especially in the swing states in the South. So I have this as likely Republican. The state of Texas, I do think he'll get it down to lean Republican, even though he'll lose some urban turnout. He would do better in the rural areas and the exurbs and the suburbs too. I think he would do a tiny bit better than Biden. So I have this as a 4-point Trump win. North Carolina, let's put this as tilt Republican. Georgia, I'd also put it as tilt Republican. Again, he would do worse with black voters, and that's kind of the key to Democratic victories in both the states. High turnout among black voters. So even though Manchin does better with independents, he would lose both these states to Donald Trump still. In the state of Arizona, I really think he would probably win by I think a pretty solid lean blue margin. I think it would be likely because, again, that urban turnout wouldn't be the best with Manchin at the top of the ticket. You'd do better with independents and do probably decent enough in Maricopa County, but again, it'd probably be a drop off among minority voters, so it wouldn't be a likely blue victory. Same reason with Nevada, would not be likely blue even though he does better with independents. And we come down to the Rust Belt, where this election is pretty much hinged upon. Whoever wins these three states wins the election, and I really think Manchin's pretty much in a decent spot to win all three. Even though with lower urban turnout, he would do better in the rural areas in these states, so he would win Michigan. He would probably win Pennsylvania by a lean blue margin or so. I don't know. He would have lower turn in the urban areas. I'm going to demote that down to tilt blue. I really think he would probably do a bit better in Wisconsin, but we have to factor in the lower black turnout, especially in Milwaukee. But again, it's a bit of a more rural state, so I think he would win it by a lean blue margin. So again, let's say Trump wins Pennsylvania. Oh, look at that 269 tie. So that's a certainly possible outcome here. But I think Manchin would still win Pennsylvania against Donald Trump here in the scenario. He would just be a more centrist Democrat, and that should be enough to defeat Donald Trump in an election like this. So I think the popular vote goes to Manchin by about 3 or so. He would win the Electoral College narrowly. Could even tie possibly if PA goes red, but kind of doubt that with Manchin at the top of the ticket. Other than that, this is kind of what the map I see occurring. So if you enjoyed this video or if you disagree with this video, let me know in the comments down below. Interested in your feedback. Other than that, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.